Thank you. Thank you for coming to this fantastic talk about how I learned Golang with the Ebitengine. Um, I'm Luca Guadagnini. I'm a senior software developer and consultant in Thinkers Group. And since this talk is not about AI, I at least put an intelligent transformer there, just to be part of the talks. But we are not here to talk about the transformers, but how I learned Golang. And I want to share my experience by studying the language and trying to apply some stuff with game engines. So this comes from a very long time ago, because during my days in the Faculty of Computer Science in Trento, a long time ago, I think more or less 20 or 25 years ago, I had my, complication to learn Java programming, object-oriented programming. But I started to feel, a little bit confused how to structure my application. So I tried to face the things in another way, and I started to read this book, Developing Games in Java. It's a very old-fashioned book of 2003, more or less, but it gives me some basics about game development. So I started to create my game loop in Java. A game loop is a never-ending loop that handles all the inputs and logic updates of my game's objects, like sprites, animation, sounds, and stuff like that, and also the rendering and the timing. So, but it wasn't enough. I mean, yeah, I tried to create this stuff with Java and object-oriented programming, but it was a very procedural code, and I wasn't satisfied with it. But so I got an inspiration. I found this application. It's what you see is what you get, application editor during the 90s and the first years of 2000. And this application allows us to create some games. There was this level editor. I tried this later. Oh, yeah, nice. So this one was the level editor, where you put all your objects, animation, sprites, etc. And there was this grid where you put the conditions and what to do with the event, and what to trigger with this condition. So I tried to structure my game applications against this kind of structure, because I was a little bit, affected by domain-driven design ante litteram. I don't know if you know the approach, but it was enough to understand how to name things, how to organize stuff, so to know how to organize a storyboard inside my application for a game. And inside the storyboard we have the levels, and inside the levels we have all the objects that need to be in our game. So more or less, this is just an oversimplification that I got from my reasoning. And there were, I organized the packages in this way, with the core, the project, the frame, the engine. Yeah, you see the game loop stuff, and the objects. So we got the game object, is the basic object of all. And the more complicated objects, like animation frame, animation direction, and the sprite itself. So it was an approach. It worked somehow, well, during the days, at least. But then, some time ago, I started to feel, well, I want to learn a new language, and how to do it. So I looked for another kind of language that allows me to, how to say, distract from my jobs, of my ordinary work. And so I thought that in Golang, Go language from Google, was a good idea to learn. A good, a good chance to learn something new. So since Java is too enterprisey, Golang is a little more easy to learn. It's a quite direct language. So to face a Golang, I had to search for also a game engine because I want to face the same approach I had during the days of computer science in my faculty. And I found this open source project named Ebitengine, as developed by one person only, a Japanese guy. And it's very powerful, powerful framework because you can create games for desktop, for mobile, and also for web. So it's quite easy to approach it. So this was my timeline. So I tried to get used to the syntax of a Go language. Then I tried to create something with a bit engine, something easy, like, I don't know, an intro for a game. And then something like more complicated, some, I don't know, a level structure, then with sprites and sounds and stuff like that. And then a proper game. Well, the first two steps run smoothly, I think. But at the third one, I had my, how to say, Golang started to trick me. So I had to face this talk is what I faced and how to try to solve the problems that I got with the language itself. So the first trick was the import cycle not allowed. This feature of Golang is quite complicated for the ones who coming from a language like Java or even C#, because what actually does is it doesn't allow you to import different kind of objects if they are in there is how to say, an import cycle. Let's see an example. In the runtime, I got the engine with some game objects. So I needed to import the base game object from there. And then we have the animation. Animation imports a game object itself, because animation must be a game object. And then I imported this one as well in the engine. But it wasn't possible, because engine has an import from of a game object. Animation have an import of a game object, and this one is a kind of import cycle. And this kind of stuff is allowed in most of the game, in programming languages. But what Golang try to solve is and to teach you is to think about the modularity of your application. So you need to rethink about the packages and the structure and the philosophy behind it. So what I did is to flatten all the stuff, and I had to reorganize the more or less the hierarchy of my objects. So animation, it was just animation. It's not more a game object. And then I was able to import the game object inside my engine and the animation inside the engine independently. Another trick, well, this one is, I think, for the object-oriented programmers, not so usual. But we got the difficulty to split what is the definition of what is a reference type and a value type. The reference type, the value type is a structure like this one, where you create your structure in this way. So this is an anonymous structure, Gopher. And every time you put it in another variable, you pass it through a method, it is copied by value. So as you can see, value is somehow cloned, and but the original val is still at 10 when you try to print it, even if it's copied inside the value too. Instead, with the Gopher and with the, how do you call it, the ampersand, thank you, Luca, is a reference type. So what it means, like the name suggests, is reference to the structure by a pointer. So we got the reference here, and then you can copy it as many how many times you want, but actually all the variables are pointing to the same structure. So when you try to modify it, is modified for everyone. So what to use then? Reference type or value type in Go. The tip is a reference type first, then value type if a structure is small, or you need to protect the internals of your structure. But it strongly depends on how you structure your the data inside. Final trick. This is the most controversial one, because this is not a convention and something that it's not a convention for the Gophers. Information hiding. Information hiding is a concept that is quite bounded to object orientation. And the problem with information hiding in Golang is actually that you can trick the original structure, like the game loop, as we can see here, by using some nasty stuff like unsafe package or reflection. And you can create another structure that emulates the original one. And then with a pointer, you can copy the content of your original structure. And then you can modify it. So, for instance, if you have an object that have two sprites, then with this hack, you can actually create a clear object. Yeah, it's unsafe for, I don't know, for the libraries itself. In fact, what I wanted is create a library around the framework, the game engine, and I wanted to protect the logics, the internal logics of my library. So what I did is something like this. I create all the stuff is interface first. So the interface first allows you to protect your internals and to protect how you structure the struct internally. So yeah, this is the most advanced way to protect your internal structure, internal state of your objects. Yeah, well, we got yeah. So time ups, game over. So in the end, what I want to share is my experience to learning a new language with a game engine, because it's much more fun to learn a new language with an open source game engine. So do the same. And then go learn Golang, because it's much easier than Rust if you need to. Thank you, and if you have any question, you can contact me here on LinkedIn and so on.